morning, sir. Sir, I am Dr. Arun. So today I am going to present a case. So 61-year-old male hailing from Ernakulam presented with breathlessness of 2 days duration and a fever of 1 day duration. So history of presenting complaint was patient was apparently asymptomatic 2 days back when he felt breathless, which was insidious in onset and progressive in nature. First he felt breathless when he walked for 200 meters or more. Later he felt breathless in his daily activities. That is NYHA class 3, sir. It was
Can you tell NYHA classes?
So NYHA class 1 is no breathlessness. NYHA class 2 is after walking for certain meters, breathlessness or angina. Sir, then NYHA class 3 is on daily activity and NYHA class 4 is on rest, sir.
It is not exactly like that. 0 means no breathlessness.
Yes, sir.
Class 1 means unaccustomed work. Then accustomed work.
Accustomed.
Then routine work. Then non-rest.
Yes, sir.
There is a 4 classes.
Yes,
class
sir.
1 there is symptom, but only on unaccustomed work.
So it was relieved on taking rest, sir, and it was associated with paroxysmal nocturnal dyspnea and orthopnea and tiredness, sir. So fever was high grade in nature, sir, which was sudden in onset, no diurnal variation, not associated with any chills or rigors, sir. There was no aggravating factors and it relieved on taking paracetamol. No history of any chest pain, cough with sputum production, throat pain, abdominal pain or distension, dysuria, palpitation, seizures or loss of consciousness, sir. So past history, so he was diagnosed of autoimmune hemolytic anemia 6 months back, sir. And there is no history of contact with COVID-19 patients, sir, since fever is there. And so there is no history of any dyslipidemia, hypertension, TB or bronchial asthma, sir. Surgical history, no relevant surgical history. So personal history, mixed diet, reduced sleep, no loss of appetite or weight, not habituated to smoking or alcohol, sir.
Okay.
So family history, no relevant family history, sir. So drug history, since he has autoimmune hemolytic anemia, he takes prednisolone along with mycophenolate, mofetil.
Mofetil.
Yes,
Mycophenolate, mofetil.
yes, sir. So general examination, patient is conscious, cooperative, oriented, time, place and person, sir. Moderately built and nourished. So pallor was present and no icterus, no cyanosis, no clubbing, no lymphadenopathy. So bilateral pitting pedal edema was present, sir. So vitals, pulse was 104 beats per minute.
Why this pedal edema is present?
So fluid overload conditions, sir.
Anemia with fluid overload.
Yes, sir. Pulse was 104 beats per minute, sir. Normal rate, regular rhythm, normal volume, condition of vessel wall was normal.
Do you think this tachycardia is due to?
So due to impending cardiac
Anemia.
Anemia,
itself
okay.
can produce tachycardia. Again, you told cardiac failure.
Yes.
Both can produce tachycardia. And fever is also there.
Yes. So BP is 120/70, sir, taken on right arm with adult size cuff. Respiratory rate is 28 per minute, abdominal thoracic type, and temperature he is febrile right now. So head to foot examination, hairline is normal, eyes are normal, ears are normal, nose, no flaring of ala nasi, mouth, no stomatitis or cheilitis, neck, no normal, chest.
What you are looking in the neck?
So JVP, sir.
Jugular venous.
Yes, so actually JVP is elevated, sir.
Okay.
So but that I mentioned in CVS
Okay,
examination.
JVP is elevated. You have to look for any swelling in the neck,
Yes.
thyroid swelling, any visible lymph nodes.
So then leg bilateral pitting pedal edema was present, sir. So actually according to this history, I want to examine two systems, that is actually CVS and respiratory system, sir.
Okay.
So CVS examination, on inspection, chest was normal in shape, no epigastric or suprasternal pulsations, no visible apical impulse, no shape of the precordium was normal, sir, and no visible pulsations of precordial bulge or dilated veins or scars. So JVP is elevated, sir. So that may be due to cardiac failure, sir.
Okay. JVP is direct. The jugular vein is connected to which chamber of the heart?
Right side, sir. Right atrium.
Right?
Right atrium.
Right atrium. So any change in the right side, including fluid overload, can elevate the JVP.
Yes.
Okay.
Sir, on palpation, there is no local rise of temperature or tenderness, sir. Apex beat is at 5th left intercostal space, mid-clavicular line, sir. And no parasternal heave, supraclavicular pulsations or thrill. So percussion, all heart borders are percussed and there is no cardiomegaly, sir. Auscultation, S1 and S2 heard, no added breath sounds or murmurs.
Okay.
So going on to respiratory system examination, sir. Upper respiratory tract, nose is normal, there is no deviation of nasal septum or flaring of ala nasi, no postnasal drip, throat is normal and there is no inflammation of tonsils, sir.
Okay.
Lower respiratory tract, trachea is central in position, no apex beat is visible and shape of the chest is normal, chest movements are symmetrical. No drooping of shoulders or dilated veins or scars. On palpation, trachea is central, there is no local rise of temperature or tenderness. Apex beat is felt at 5th left intercostal space, mid-clavicular line. Chest circumference is normal, normal chest movements and vocal fremitus is resonant on all areas. Sir, on percussion, liver dullness is felt at 5th right intercostal space. Sir, on auscultation, normal vesicular breath sounds are heard. Sir, but crepitations are present at infraaxillary area, in the infrascapular area and interscapular area, sir.
Which side?
So both sides.
Both
sir.
sides.
Yes, sir.
So what do you think about these crepitations?
Sir, it may be due to pulmonary edema, sir.
Fluid overload and pulmonary edema.
Yes,
Okay.
sir. Sir.
That is a complete clinical examination.
Yes.
What will be your diagnosis?
Sir, this may be anemia which causes cardiac failure.
Hemolytic anemia.
Yes,
leading
autoimmune
to
hemolytic
heart
anemia.
failure due to fluid overload.
Yes.
And he is developing pulmonary edema.
Pulmonary edema,
Okay.
sir.
So how do you manage this case in emergency room?
Sir, for pulmonary edema, we have to make the patient sit upright.
So any patient come to
Sir, first we have to
emergency
investigate
airway, breathing, circulation.
circulation.
How is the airway?
Sir, airway should be clear, sir.
No. This patient, whether he is having tachypnea, he is having any difficulty in breathing,
Yes, he is
desaturation.
having tachypnea, sir.
And what is the saturation level?
Sir, saturation is 97, sir.
Okay, so saturation is good, but tachypnea is there.
Yes, sir.
So you take the patient inside, you have to take care is airway.
Yes,
BP and everything is normal.
normal, sir.
Airway is slightly compromised.
Yes.
So you have to take care is breathing. How do you take care?
Sir, we have to give O2 by
So
mouth.
you first take the patient inside. You told propped up position.
Yes.
That is the most important step. Then
Then we have to give oxygen, sir.
oxygen. How do you give oxygen for this patient?
Through face mask, sir.
Okay, you have to give. Since you are giving a high flow oxygen, you need to have a mask and give, not in the nasal prongs.
Yes.
Nasal prongs up to what level you can give? To maximum 4 liters you can give.
Yes.
But this patient may require high.
Yes.
So you use a face mask and give oxygen. Then suppose if the patient does not improve with your oxygen mask, what you do?
Sir, we have to give diuretics,
No,
sir.
before that, see, first in emergency room, first take care airway.
Yes.
Then only next step, next drug should be given. So oxygen started, but he is not improving. Next is BiPAP.
BiPAP.
Is, what is BiPAP? You might have seen in emergency. It's a it's a positive pressure ventilation.
Ventilation.
Okay. What is the advantage of this? This ventilator-like device may give high pressure oxygen inside, and while it is coming back, also it produces some pressure. Okay. So what is the advantage in pulmonary edema? You give high pressure air inside, so the alveoli which is collapsed will be opened up.
Yes.
When air comes out, also it produces some pressure. That all we have to set. Then the collapse will be slower. So all the alveoli will expand and its collapse will be slow. So whatever water inside, in pulmonary edema, water is there in the
Accumulating
alveoli. That will be shifted out from the alveoli. All the fluid will be cleared. So we have to start BiPAP.
Yes.
That is the first step. Oxygen, propped up position, oxygen, BiPAP. Then you told some drug. What is a drug?
Sir, diuretics, sir.
What is a diuretic?
Sir, Lasix.
That is
furosemide.
Furosemide. How much you give? You can give 40 milligram
Yes.
or 80 milligram
Yes.
depending on the BP.
BP.
If you give furosemide very fast, it produces hypotension.
Hypertension.
In this case, your BP is good.
Yes,
so you give
normal.
40 to 80 milligram IV furosemide. Then so transiently patient improves after your BiPAP and after your Lasix. Patient improves, but basic problem is still there.
Yes.
What is the basic problem?
Cardiac failure, sir. And
Due to
anemia also.
Anemia. So how do you correct that?
Sir, anemia, first we have to check the blood counts and ferritin levels, whether it is normal. LDH, since it's hemolytic anemia, we have to check for LDH.
LDH. So what is the HP percent here?
Sir, right when he came here, it was 10, sir. Now he has been better, sir.
Okay, 10 was the HB person.
Yes.
LDH is?
LDH is normal, sir.
Okay, so he has got slight anemia. So you have to find out whether he has got any existing cardiac problem.
Yes.
Okay, 10 is the HB percent, and you have to find out whether any cardiac problem is existing. How do you know that? What is a cardiac problem in this patient?
Sir, we should ECG. We should take.
ECG you can understand some amount of ischemic heart disease, all these things, but we want to know the pumping of the heart.
So echo, sir.
Echo can be done. So echo should be done to know the pumping of the heart. Okay. Any pumping defect or ejection fraction should be done by echo. So we'll ask for an echo. HB is 10 gram. So you may have to transfuse, but 10 is okay.
Yes, sir.
No need to transfuse if already it is 10. You remove some amount of fluid and find out other causes, it will be okay. What may be precipitating this cardiac failure?
So the anemia.
Anemia is one. Already she is anemic for a long time.
Sir, and he has an infection, so fever.
Fever is the main precipitant here. She was compromised with that anemia for a long period. But suddenly the infection came, tachycardia. She has become worsened. So what do you do now?
So first we have to treat the fever, sir.
We should know what is the cause behind fever. We have to treat the fever like you told. How do you treat?
First paracetamol. But we have to find the cause, sir.
Okay, we can give paracetamol IV and wait to fever to subside, so the tachycardia will come down, cardiac failure will come down, patient will improve.
Yes.
But how do you know that cause for fever?
Sir, we have to check for urine.
So common infection should be ruled out.
Yes.
Okay. Here patient is already having lung crepitation. So you take an X-ray. We don't know whether it is a cardiac failure or a pneumonia like viral pneumonia.
Yes.
Take an X-ray and see. Okay. That can be done after your Lasix, because if there is a fluid overload, you remove the fluid, then you ask for an X-ray. You can see whether there is an infection or not.
Yes.
Then what else you can see? What investigation to rule out infections? This is called as infection panel. In normally we have some panels, renal panel, liver panel. This is infection panel. So you are taking an X-ray. That is one of the investigation. Then
inflammatory markers.
Markers, CRP can be done. Then CBC, complete blood count.
Yes.
If the neutrophils are elevated, we suspect bacterial infection. Then urine routine. Okay, these are the basic things we have to do in emergency room. Suppose there is an lung infection, like bilateral pneumonia is there in this patient. What will you suspect?
Sir,
fever
right
for
now,
5 days, bilateral infiltrates are there in the X-ray.
Sir, in this time, COVID is the most common infection.
Okay, so we have to rule out COVID infection. You can do an antigen or PCR can be done.
RT-PCR can be done.
Anything can be done and rule out COVID. Other than that,
so then pneumonia, sir,
bilateral pneumonia. This is bilateral pneumonia.
So viral pneumonia,
So
sir.
H1N1 should be ruled out. In this scenario, COVID should be ruled out first, then H1N1, then only other bacterial infection should be ruled out. Okay.
Yes, sir.
So all these things, your blood count will help. Okay. Can you tell about procalcitonin?
So procalcitonin is increased during bacterial infection.
So whenever there is a bilateral pneumonia like this, we don't know whether it's a bacterial infection or viral. You can ask for procalcitonin. If that is elevated, then it is bacterial. You have to start antibiotics. What happened to this patient after this initial treatment?
Sir, patient got better, sir.
Okay.
After giving oxygen and BiPAP, he felt better, sir.
So oxygen, BiPAP, patient improved. You have given Lasix, so fluid overload has come down.
Reduced.
Now only fever, we have to find out the cause for
of
fever.
the fever.
We have to treat the patient.
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, sir.